Hey everyone, this is Dan Bowers with CMS Communications. We are here today co-hosting a webinar with Devs.AI. And first I want to tell you guys a little bit about CMS. Some of you know us, some of you don't, but since 1985, CMS Communications, we've earned an industry-wide reputation for consolidating telecommunication costs, technology costs, and delivering on the highest quality of hardware and superior technical support. Through our 4 decades-long history, we have evolved our offerings and instilled future-proof technologies to our clientele by staying one step ahead of the emerging technology markets and maintaining partnerships and national and international manufacturers and partners to provide the best-case scenarios for our clients' global technology requirements. CMS is a certified delivery partner and technology advisor, developing and partnering with all the enterprise hardware and software manufacturers. Our partnerships allow CMS to provide discounts to you and multi-level support to each of our clientele worldwide. Now today, we are co-hosting this with the Devs.AI team. They are a private and secure AI workspace, and they're LLM agnostic. You can build your own AI agents. In fact, they have out-of-the-box agents that you can use as soon as you sign up. Think paralegals, HR specialists, IT support people, software engineers. And one of the things I love most about this is that it's all no code. I don't have to actually type in the code to create an app through the Devs.AI platform or an agent. So today we are here with the general manager of Devs.AI, Aaron Bailey, to walk us through what this really looks like. Aaron?
Thanks a lot, Dan. Yeah, good to meet you all. Happy to be here. Just by way of background, name's Aaron Bailey. I am the general manager of Devs.AI based out here in San Francisco. Been with the company for just over a year now. Devs.AI is wholly owned by a company called AppDirect. That's our holding company. And I sold a business to AppDirect last year in March. So I've been with the team, became general manager of AI, and then launched this brand under that initiative, Devs.AI, this year. So if you want to go to the next slide, we'll get things kicked off here. Cool. So 3 core components, 3 core value props to what we offer on the Devs.AI platform. And Dan said it well. I mean, the foundation of the platform is really private AI workspaces. Now, why does this matter? I think it's important to understand that about 75% of all employees at a given company are using free AI tools. This is a good thing, augments productivity. We want people to be automating redundant workflows. But the core issue there is that, a lot of people are using free AI tools. So the free version of ChatGPT, free version of Gemini, free version of Grok, et cetera. And these are essentially, if you read the terms and conditions, they're essentially data sharing programs. So whenever anybody puts in data in the free version of those apps, they have the right, so ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini have the right to train subsequent models off that data. So people are finding their company IP baked into later versions of these models. It's a major cybersecurity vulnerability. A lot of IT professionals are becoming more aware of this threat known as shadow AI. And we plug that hole. So private AI workspaces, we give you access to a completely kind of secure environment for your team and your data. And we give you access to every major LLM. LLM is just, it stands for large language model. It's synonymous with AI model. So whenever you hear that term, just know that it's the same thing as just saying an AI model. So we give access to 8 different providers, LLMs, which they have about 3 to 5 LLMs per provider. And then as Dan said, we also have a no-code agent builder. If you're not familiar with this term of AI agents, if you've used AI before, you know that you can just chat back and forth with it. An AI agent, though, can go, so it can do things like update an opportunity in Salesforce, take the transcription from this call, summarize it, and put it in a folder somewhere. So it can actually go and take action, read-write action on different systems that you give it access to. So if we go to the next slide here, go ahead, Dan. Yeah.
Actually, I do have one quick question. Are you saying that I should not be putting my company's revenue and profit reports into ChatGPT? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so this is a good point. So I mean, Like, it's one thing if a sales guy is rewriting a sales email on the free version of ChatGPT. It's wholly another thing if your finance guy, to your point, if your finance guy is uploading your proprietary financial model to to the free version of ChatGPT.
Well, that's bad. Okay.
Would not recommend that. Yeah, it's a really good point to call out. Yeah, and then, from a value perspective, these are the 8 providers that we have within Devs.AI. And this is kind of hard for people to understand. We are LLM agnostic. We are AI model agnostic. So instead of just buying Anthropic or just buying Gemini, just buying OpenAI, directly subscribing to the enterprise versions, which you'll see under the direct sub column here, we give you all the same models, all the same AI models for $30 per month per seat. If you were to directly subscribe to each of these and you wanted to give all those different models, it'd be $230 per month per seat. The reason that we're LLM agnostic and we don't just choose one provider to go after is because, well, there's 2 reasons. One, everybody kind of has their different favorite flavor of ice cream. And so if you talk to at our company, our software engineers love the Anthropic models. Our finance team loves the Gemini models. Our marketing team loves the OpenAI models. And so you want to say yes to all of that usage. If you just consolidate onto one provider, you're incentivizing people to go around and continue to use their favorite flavor of ice cream. So that's that's kind of point number 1. Point number 2 is there are 2 new AI models that get released on a weekly basis. The rate of innovation is incredible, unlike anything we've seen in any industry. And so you have Anthropic, who's winning over the course of a couple of weeks, and then OpenAI will release a new model, and then Gemini will release a new model after that. They're constantly leapfrogging each other, and you want to make sure that you're giving your team access to the most competent models at the best cost. Were you going to say something, man?
Yeah, I was. That's one of the things that kind of struck me about this. Like, you think of LLMs as like, oh, they're all doing the same thing. It's all just a data set that you pull from, but each one does have its own unique like strength or capability, right? Like one might be better for content creation, like maybe email marketing and text, base, whereas another might be good for just applications, real-time applications and things like that. So it really does depend on which one you use to have a better experience.
Yeah,
right?
And as orgs adopt this, I mean, it becomes obvious, as an organization adopts an LLM agnostic kind of approach, what models are fitting well into what parts of the org, and what roles and responsibilities they're good at, those sorts of things.
Okay.
Great. We have a lot of slides here. We'll just do one more slide and we'll dive right into the demo just for time's sake. The first question I typically get is, okay, when I give demos is, what you guys are a private AI workspace. What does that even mean? Like, how are you more secure, right? And first things first, we have agreements in place with every major LLM provider that they'll never use the data on our platform to train subsequent models. Even if they were lying, we do have private Azure instances that we host some of our more popular models on. So even if they were lying, they wouldn't even have access to the data because it's hosted on a private Azure instance. We're the only platform where you can actually see all of the data that your employees have uploaded, and you can manage that data. You can delete that data at any time. No other platform gives you access to that level of granularity. We do have US-based servers. We're SOC 2 compliant, GDPR compliant, ISO 2700 compliant. We do have on-prem deployment options, albeit they are more expensive and take a little bit while longer to implement. And from a governance perspective, SSO verification, role-based permissions, org-wide analytics, and more importantly, chat log access. We'll demo this briefly here in a moment, but the ability to see all the chat as an admin, you can see all the chat logs across the company. That's one. You can download them. It's good to continue to train the models based on conversations that agent has already had. And 2, if someone is acting nefariously, right? If someone uses an agent to download your customer list, quits the next day, takes that down the street, you're going to want proof of that. As far as I'm aware, we are the only ones that have, the granularity on the ability to download chat logs across an org. So I'll demonstrate that as well. So we do have a bunch of other slides here. I'm sure if questions come up, I might use the slides later in the Q&A portion. But we can dive into a demo here. So give me a sec to.
There's one thing that I didn't see on there, though. I'm being honest, Aaron, and it's the T38 fax machine encryption. Is that not necessary?
Well, it's actually good that you bring up encryption. I mean, a lot of these platforms are not encrypted by default, and so we are a fully encrypted platform at rest. So
okay,
for those that care.
There you go.
Great. So, Dan, just confirm you can see my screen here.
I can see it, and I'm excited.
Great. If you can see it, everybody else can see it, most likely. So we are chat oriented. So when you log into the platform, the one thing I didn't cover actually is we do have a free version of this platform. So if you go to devs.ai, devs.ai, and click the sign up button in the top right corner, you will be able to access the free version of our platform, which has about half the features and very low rate limits, but it is still fully secure. That's a question I always get. The free version of ChatGPT Gemini, not secure. The free version of Devs, we are secure on every plan, and fully private. So you can come in here and see that we have all the different models. You can select any of the models to begin chatting with. We have all the OpenAI models, the Anthropic models, the Google models, Perplexity, Meta, etc. We also have 20 plus image generation models, 4 of which you can actually use to edit images. And so you'll see this premium tag on some of the models, image models and standard models. And if you see that premium tag, it just means that it's not going to be available on the free version. So we split up between standard and premium models. We also, in our what we call, go ahead.
Aaron, how can someone use the image generation? You mean they can create some type of a content post or a social media post?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So this is really good for if you want to create different graphics or edit different graphics, right? So what a lot of people, the teams that usually use this are marketing, anybody who does kind of content generation, but marketing, sales enablement, even internally for slides, graphics that are needed for slides. The reason editing is so important is because we were talking to a printmaker the other day, and they wanted to they didn't want to have to remake a graphic that had July 4th kind of promo on it that was for July 4th 2024. You can upload that, change 2024 to 2025, and it'll do that, still keep the same fidelity of the image, those sorts of things. So
upload old images and keep reusing them with the same material, but change them slightly, or ask the system to change it slightly to what I need it to do.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's like a relatively new capability for these image generation models, which is why only 3 or 4 of them do it. The GPT Image 1 model will do that. I know Flex Context Pro does it, and Context Max does it as well. Yeah, so feel free to play around with that. I mean, the Context, I think Pro, is it will be on the free plan. You can play around with image generation. We do have web search available too. So this you can enable or disable web search for any of the chats, and then we have the ability to upload any type of file. So JPEGs, PNGs, the most popular ones that people are uploading are usually PDFs or DocX or Excel docs, sometimes CSVs as well. But yeah, and then a lot of different kind of coding languages you can upload as well. So that's kind of on the when you log in, again, you'll see this kind of chat orientation. You'll see all the different agents that you've built over here. We haven't built any agents yet on the free plan, so we'll do that. But before we dive into that, I'll just quickly pull up, as an IT admin, the different controls you have for kind of privacy, compliance, and governance. The first of which is the chat logs. We talked a bit about this earlier, but your ability to export any of the chat logs, you can cut it up by model, by agent, by user. Dan, are you saying something there?
No, I was just being
Maybe I was
amazed
hearing. Oh,
uh,
great.
by what you're showing me here.
Yeah, great.
Audit trails and report logs, like you have on the IT side as well. But this is for all of your chats and for all of your agents. I didn't know it did all the agents as well.
Yeah, we're the only ones that do this right now. This is, I mean, this is really this stack that we have on the back end is really built for the IT buyer, for this kind of privacy, governance, compliance reasons. We also have the ability. This is admin only functionality. You can come in here and toggle off things like we have a public catalog of agents. So if you're rolling this out to your whole company, you probably don't want the public catalog to be accessible by your employees. This is really for our community of AI builders that comes on to our free or our personal plans. We have things like you can toggle off user invites or the ability to share agents, the ability to access the APIs. We have this thing called memory. If you've used any like ChatGPT or Grok or Gemini before, they have this concept of memory where over time, the agentless chat, the default chat, will get to know you. It'll remember certain facts about you. And that's nice because then you don't have to give it the same context every time. Like, for instance, I don't want to have to say, I'm the general manager of Devs.AI, holding a company under the parent company of AppDirect. Here's my role, here's my team. Here are my goals, here are my KPIs. I don't want to have to give it that context every time. But for privacy reasons, sometimes people at the org level don't want their employees to access that, so you can toggle that off. And the last piece here is, and this is a big ask from the IT professionals that we talk to, is to have an organizational prompt or like a model prompt. So this is where people typically will put in their AI policies and ethics. You can also put in certain things like how you want the AI to behave generally. So, for instance, like I want you to always be concise, accurate, honest, etc. Right? Blunt. Different ways that you want it to behave. So, but usually it's the AI policy piece that goes in here.
So you're governing how the AI will act for the entire organization.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And the way that works actually is we actually amend every prompt that gets sent with that organization level prompt. Okay. We mentioned before, but you can actually come in here and toggle on and off the different models that you want to make accessible to your employees. You can set defaults. Same thing on the image models. The piece that I showed you before, this can be a little bit overwhelming for folks. So folks might just choose like 2 to 3 models per provider that they'll make available. It's not totally unusual for folks to do that.
Well, and we talked about how there's different strengths and capabilities of each LLM. So anyone that is actually here or seeing this, let us know. We can walk you through the different strengths and capabilities of each of these LLMs that could be specific for your organization.
Totally. And, I will say a resource that I constantly talk about, we should really just pull these guys in via API, is lmarena.ai. If you click this little leaderboard button, this is the primary leaderboard that is used by every AI researcher that at least I know of to rank the latest and greatest LLMs given a particular category. So in text right now, Gemini 2.5 Pro is performing the best. It was GPT-5. If you looked early last week, GPT-5 was higher than everything else. But so this is kind of a live leaderboard for web development. You have that category, text to image. You have this, we talked about GPT-1, Image 1 being able to, and Context Max and Pro being able to edit. So you see those 3 on there: vision, image editing, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, you use this, to get a sense of what is who's the most competent. Exactly, LLM. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a little aside there. From a data integration standpoint, you can actually set up at the admin level integrations. This is to pull in data to agents to give them context to behave the way that you want them to behave and to know what you want them to know. So you can set up a Google Drive or a Microsoft OneDrive SharePoint authentication at the admin level. Same with Slack. We're rolling out Teams here shortly as well. And we actually just rolled out our MCP server integration. So MCP servers they stand for Model Context Protocol. It's basically just, think of it as a as like if a USB had an integration on it, you just wanted to plug that into an agent to give it read-write capability on any particular system.
Okay.
That's what we have for with MCP. So we have a first-party MCP server, but if we don't have anything, systems that you want to give read-write access to, we actually have the ability to call third-party MCP servers. And if this is all a foreign language to you, I'll dig a little bit deeper into this when we create an agent here.
So I actually have, so that was the question I was going to ask you. I don't know if you can tell on the blur back here, but I've got an entire library filled with books on discovering the lost city of Atlantis, okay? And I've got them all in a folder and a server. So can I take that server and just strictly link that server to an agent here and say, hey, scour everything on this server or this folder and tell me where Atlantis is?
Yes, it would need to be in the framework of the MCP server. It's an open source framework that Anthropic came out with that every major provider is standardizing to. It might just be better just to upload all that data to an agent. But yeah, if you had the right formatting, then you could call that as an MCP server. That's right.
Okay.
Set that up as an MCP server.
Well, let's find it. Let's go.
Yeah, the last piece I'll show is analytics. So you'll be able to see you're able to cut it up by any time period or any agent, right? So time period over here. You can see how many active users you have, how many messages, how much data has been uploaded, tokens. This is a demo account. So and then how your tokens are trending across standard and premium tier token rate limits. So if you're not familiar with this concept of tokens, just cover it quickly. A token is basically the unit of measurement for compute that is our underlying costs with the LLMs that we pay money to. So
you get like every word and a half is one token or something like that.
Yeah, it's 3.75 letters, which I'm getting a little technical there. I mean, we don't want people to be thinking in those terms necessarily. We're trying to abstract a little bit away. But on the business plan, which is, again, $30 per month per seat, you get 20 million tokens across standard and premium tier. The idea is that it's supposed to feel unlimited. We actually did used to have it. It was strictly unlimited token usage, but we had some folks in foreign countries exploit that and run up costs. And so we're like, okay, what is a high enough limit to where it's going to feel unlimited, but it doesn't really affect our, we're protected on the downside. And so 20 million was what we came up with there.
Okay. Well, and just to give everybody some peace of mind, I was on the free version of this for a long time, and I never ran out of tokens. I used it for emails. I used it for just generic questions. How do I make this cocktail? Whatever. That's, and I never ran out. So it's, depends on the person, I suppose.
And so you'll be missing, that's right, you'll be missing a few features for sure, or not a few, probably about half the features, and you won't be able to add folks to your team, and so you won't have that kind of governance and oversight on the free version. So the free version is good for personal use, de-risk the platform, try to understand how it works. That's really what it's there for. But then as you roll it out to the org, you're going to want all that kind of insight on and control that you had under settings that I showed you there. So cool.
Well, that makes sense.
Great. Okay, so we've covered chat. We've covered the kind of governance. We'll spend the next kind of 10 or so minutes here going through agent creation. So this is really what we spent 2 years building, is the ability to create agents. This has usually been kind of sequestered to software development teams only, because it can be very technical to spin up an agent. But we have created an agent creation studio that, as Dan said, is for non-technical people. So it's a no-code agent builder is what we call it. And so we will build an agent here. We'll just say an AppDirect support agent, and we'll say an AI designed to support customers on appdirect.com, something like that, right? And so the reason that we want a high fidelity title and description is because we'll actually use an LLM to generate custom instructions for this agent. And so you can see now we're in the creation studio. We'll generate a little avatar. You can always regenerate that avatar. You can click the setting and kind of create a kind of a custom prompt for whatever image you want to generate. This just helps you as you begin to spin up like dozens of agents. It helps you identify, the agent in a list much easier, which is
Can
why
I
we created
upload a
that.
picture of myself as an
Yes, you can
agent?
upload any picture. That's right. Yep.
That's
Yep.
beautiful. Dan Bowers, the AI agent. I love it.
Exactly. Yeah, with a red Terminator eye, something like that. So on the you can also determine who can see this agent. So you can you can select who can edit this agent, who's this visible to. You can list this agent in your organization's catalog, public catalog. I don't recommend that, again, if you're rolling this out to your whole company. And then these are the custom instructions. So this is where you're really giving the roles and responsibilities that you want this agent to kind of adhere to, and how you want it to behave. So you're putting that there.
Their personality, basically.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah, it's also, yeah. So personality matters too, but it's really, again, yeah, how you want it to behave and the roles and responsibilities is maybe the way to think about it. And then step 2 is choosing the model. And what's great is you can always swap out the model to the latest and greatest. So GPT 4.1 is fine, but again, you can choose any model here. Don't worry about any of these agent model parameters. These are really for technical folks who care a lot about the latest kind of research papers that are coming out about how to increase agent performance. And so we are constantly adding new things that the technical kind of agent developers are wanting us to add. So the defaults on here are just fine for 99% of agents. Third step is going to be uploading data. This is like the proprietary brain, right? So if you think of an LLM, like an AI model, like the one that we have as the background here, GPT 4.1, this is a general purpose model. Hopefully it doesn't know the nitty gritty about your business, right? And so this is where you're uploading the nitty gritty about your business. And the LLM, the data does not go to the LLM companies. It goes to a separate vector database that is multi-tenant. It's fully owned by you, and again, you have full control over it. So if you've uploaded data before, you can kind of upload previous data sources. You can upload any type of file. You can have it scrape any website, and then again, we have about 5 and counting native integrations that make it easy to pull in data. You can point to a Microsoft SharePoint folder, Google Drive folder, etc. You can also turn on. You can enable citations. What's cool about this is AI has the tendency to hallucinate. It's less and less these days, but still, you kind of want this anti-hallucination feature, which in enabling citations, which will basically, anytime it responds to you, it'll cite where it got that information from. And you can click Cite Citation, it opens up a document, the document that it got it from, and it'll say it's on this page, this paragraph, this line. It's actually very, very precise on where it gets the chunks from. So
that's beautiful. And for those of you that don't know, hallucinations are kind of like, okay, when you go Google something and you find 20 articles on the subject you're Googling, but 2 of those are false articles, false websites that don't have good information. Well, guess what? The artificial intelligence is still going to pull all that information and present it to you. But what you're talking about is saying, hey, cite this so I know if it's a reputable company or reputable information or something like that. Isn't that what the
Yeah, and frankly, like there's kind of some breaking news in the last like 48 to 72 hours that OpenAI has found a way to dramatically decrease hallucinations, and so they're just less of an issue than they used to be. But citations, is a very important feature. Yeah, it matters a lot. It just helps with search also. Helps you get the right information you want.
Well, especially for education, like AI is being adopted into schools, and so you want to be able to cite where you're getting this information from. And I mean, I remember back in the day, we'd have to write a paper, and then I have to go get the book to find the author and everything, and write it all out, as my citation list, my biography. So yeah, this is great.
So the last piece here. Oh, and I will say that in this case, I mean, for an AppDirect support agent, we host the majority of AppDirect's support on support.appdirect.com, and so we might put that URL in here. And we release new articles on a weekly basis, so we can actually have it re-scrape that website on a weekly basis, which is really nice. So you can set refresh intervals. From a tools perspective, this is where you're giving it different tools that it can call to align behavior with a particular prompt. So you can have it write Python code. You can have it scrape the web. When you ask it questions, you can give it a spreadsheet tool. Whenever you upload a spreadsheet, this is big for finance, accounting, and usually sales. People want to upload spreadsheets. We will basically convert that spreadsheet, again, maybe getting a little too technical here, into an SQLite database, and then any questions you ask about that spreadsheet will convert those questions, those prompts into SQL, and then run that against the database. So these are all things that kind of happen in the background, but again, it like quote unquote just works when you just when you want those kind of functions to happen.
So we could use this for like writing PowerShell scripts and stuff like that as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then the more important piece is, we do have the ability to call any API, so you can read and write on any API kind of function here, and then MCP servers. So this is where you can select different MCP servers that you want to enable. And so in this case, like I wanted to read my emails, and I wanted to be able to write and send emails to contacts. So I would select the Gmail or Google Calendar. I want to be able to read my Google Calendar and then also send invites and respond to invitations, that kind of thing. So again, read, write access to systems.
I don't have to type my own emails anymore. That's what you're trying to tell me, right? I would love that. That would be great.
Exactly. Yeah. And then if there's more than likely you want to add more and kind of additional systems, you can connect third-party MCP servers. So a lot of companies now will have an MCP server that you can call, or if they don't, I mean, a lot of times, like someone the other day, we were talking to a large construction company. They're like, does Procore have an MCP server? And so you can just search Procore MCP server, which I did the other day, and they don't have one, but Zapier, which is a no-code platform, allows you to spin up third-party MCP servers for basically any system. So you can spin up a third-party MCP server there and then have it call here. It's a project management tool for construction companies. And so now that you'd have to log in via your agent every time you use that system. But after you do that, an agent now can, you can tell your agent to go and do certain things in that system, which is really powerful. Saves you a lot of time. I know we're coming up on time here. I just want to cover these last three tabs. After we've built the App Direct Support agent, we can actually deploy it on a website, which is pretty cool. So you can customize the colors, customize the activation button, and then we'll actually just give you code to copy paste on your website. And so if you actually go to the App Direct website, again, this is our holding company, you'll see in the bottom right-hand corner and this App Direct Assistant. This is a Devs.AI agent. So you can open that up and then ask any question. And now we have a 24/7 agent, support agent on App Direct that can answer questions. And so that's just an example of one agent that you can build. I will just cover in my last 2 minutes one last one that we built. We built this specifically for people like Dan and other kind of channel partners that we work with who resell AT&T. The process of reselling AT&T can be really annoying because you talk to someone, they know what they want dedicated internet at this address, and it takes 72 hours plus to get a quote back.
Right.
But we built an agent where if you just ask generate a quote, it'll ask for your address, and then after that it'll say, okay, based on this address, here are the products that are available at that address. Quickly, let's just jump into the guts of this because we're really running out of time here. So you can see here that we've actually given it the three APIs or three APIs that it can call plus the spreadsheet tool. And we've given it certain inputs that we want it to take. So that we basically defined a number of fields that it can take. It can take my address. It'll then present products, present management options, contract terms, and we can tell it to do that in a particular order in our flows feature. And so if we go into the flow, we built a quick quote flow. You can see we've built this deterministic flow so that whenever anybody asks to generate a quote, the first thing it'll do is collect address. Next thing it'll do is present the products available at that address. Then it'll take my input of what product I want, and then it'll call an API to the catalog and pull all the different SKUs that are available at that particular for those products at that address. And then at the end of this, I mean, you basically get a quote saying, "Hey, here's the quote from AT&T." It is very convenient and saves people a lot of time, but for whatever reason, my internet's killing me here. So
I did not know that you guys had this. This is amazing. I'm able to quote much faster and get back to my clients quicker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. So yeah, back over to you, Dan. On I know we wanted to save some time here for Q&A. So
yeah. So hey, Aaron, thank you very much. I mean, it's not all the time when I'm co-hosting a webinar that I learned something new, right? Like I learned like so many things new just now, and I'm thoroughly impressed just on my own behalf. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Everyone, if you are looking to adopt your own AI compliance and initiatives within your organizations, you're gonna have a team here that's gonna actually work with you to kind of establish where you guys are today, where you want to be, and then what type of security you have and how you want to privatize it. We can even help you build agents, and we can be, that consultant to help you build out this practice, this initiative for you. So in order to get started with some of this, I implore you to email us at cloud@cmsc.com, and we will get on the phone with you and kind of establish some of those initial discovery questions, and then we'll bring Aaron on or someone from his team, and we'll work with you to establish all of this. So right now, I think what the main thing is we need to get some questions answered, and I need to have a costume change. So we're going to go ahead and start the Q&A session. I appreciate you guys being here.